think that like addictions are so universal. I think everybody's got one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like always controversial, but I just think that like, I think everybody's addicted to something. You know, I don't think that alcoholics recover or are that different than anybody else. Then your life isn't unmanageable. At least mine's not.
Okay, my name is Nicholas Placido, and me and Jose Ponce are doing a documentary for our career studies class, and we're here at La Fuente, which is a sober living in Hollywood, California, interviewing Manny Rodriguez, who's one of the proprietors of the establishment.
Primarily what La Fuente does is act as a place for people that are leaving treatment, drug and alcohol treatment facilities, and who want and need a living environment that they can be in for several months before they go back into sort of their lives. So that's basically the service that we provide. I really don't have sort of like a study that I've done in terms of who's left and who stays sober, and I would say that in terms of people's stay here, if people stay for 3 to 6 months, 9 months, a year, I would say that the number of people that use while they're here, and that's really the only thing I can sort of account for, is extremely minimal. I think that what we try to do is just really provide a really safe environment where people feel like they're immersed in a community of people that are trying to get sober, and there is accountability that they have to be responsible for in terms of curfews and chores and drug testing and being sort of roped into a 12-step program to some degree. So I don't know, it's hard to tell, who's going to stay sober and who isn't going to stay sober. But what I do know for sure is that anybody who really, really wants to be sober gets sober.
Right.
And it's really that simple.
It's that simple.
Yeah. I think that, finding drugs or alcohol can be a result of many things, and it's all sort of individual. For me, alcohol first, because it was alcohol that I found first. Alcohol produced an effect that gave me a sense of that I was okay. So because because alcohol affects me differently than it probably affects other people, it had a reaction on my body after a while that was alcoholism, which turned into alcoholism, which means that I don't really have any say on how much I'm going to drink once I start drinking. So it's based on my experience and the stories that I've heard from being around recovering people for the last 16 years. I wouldn't say that we could, you can't identify that as a cause. I think that we still have a huge problem with HIV infection as a result of drug addiction, and more specifically crystal meth. My experience in the last 10 years with seeing people that come in and try to get sober who are HIV negative and go back out, more than likely they return and they zero convert. So it's a huge problem, And I don't think, I don't want to say that people don't care. I just think that addiction is so powerful that it sort of erases any sense of responsibility or consequences that are attached to it with people that are participating in drug use and eventually unsafe sexual practices.